Hey YouTube! So I want to do a quick little video. I bought the Hobart 140 MIG welder, and then I saw on sale at Harbor Freight they had this 100-pound capacity welding cart. Normally like $54. They had it on sale for like 35 and some change, so like 36 bucks. So I was like, hey, 36 bucks, I'll give it a go, because a real welding cart, is in the hundreds, or at least over 100 is a decent welding cart. So, and the Hobart 140 is not an overly heavy welder, so we're within the capacity. So I put it together, and it works pretty well. People say it's top heavy, and it a little bit is. So don't go grabbing and dragging it around with the cables. Move the cart by moving the cart, but I don't think it's going to fall down or anything. So this is basically what it looks like when it's in there. It's got a couple hooks on one side of the other, place for some gas in the back. You can see it's kind of large for this cart, but it's going to stay in the garage. It's going to stay on concrete. It's not going to be moving around that much, so I think it'll work out just fine. Now, here's one thing I did have to do to it. That is, this door will not open because you can see the lip goes up right here. So what I had to do is I had to do two things. One thing, I had to raise it up a little bit because I didn't want to really cut into this lip, because this lip is part of its structural integrity. So I'll show you how I raised it up in a second. Actually, I'll just show you that now. I went and I was at Home Depot, and they had on their clearance sale some little pieces of tile. They were 77 cents a piece. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's what I got. So I picked up 4 of those, and that raises it about 1/4 of an inch, which helped out a lot. But then this little piece right here was still too high. You can see this arch right here, part of the door, and then so right here, this was my problem. So I just took my angle grinder with a cutoff disc, and I just cut off a piece of the metal right here. Just nicked this one off, because nicking this right here is not structural. Cutting into this part would be structural, and it's already not an overly robust device, so you don't want to mess with anything structural on here. So, and this is different angle. I just basically just flush cut it across and then 45'd it really crude. I'll have to clean it up a little bit at some point. And you can see how the screws come out. The screws on this side and the screws on that side snugly fit the Hobart 140 MIG welder. It will fit, but it is touching the screws on both sides. If the Hobart was any larger, you'd have to flip it around so that the screws protruded out the other way, and that would give you basically this much more depth right here, because the head of the bolt is about the size of the nut. So I picked up a cable. So anyway, I got it on sale because if you sign up for Harbor Freight, they'll send you coupons in the mail. This was not a sale that they advertise on the floor. This is one you had to have a coupon for. So, 35 bucks. Give it a go if you got a smaller welder. Anything over about the Hobart 140 though, I probably wouldn't use this cart for. It's either going to be too big or it's probably going to be too heavy. So, I have read about some people actually taking this top shelf and sticking it more where the second shelf should be, but you got to drill a couple extra holes. And if you do that, you better not be using a MIG welder unless you just cut down this post on one side, because you need to be able to open the door. So the other option that I would have thought about would be actually to flip this piece of metal over, but then it has a front lip and the Hobart extends over it, so that wouldn't have worked either. So anyway, just here's the last shot of it. I think it'll work out okay. If I was going to drag it around outside of the garage, you just be careful with it. It's not hard. It's a little wiggly at the top, but not so much that all by itself it's going to fall down. You're going to have to do something to make it fall down. I wouldn't carry it over gravel. I wouldn't carry it over rocks. But in a smooth driveway, if that's all you're doing, or a smooth garage, just watch it when you're transitioning from the garage to the driveway. And other than that, you're probably gonna be okay. So and make sure it's always flat. Don't have like the back wheels on grass or something. I bet it would flip over at that point, because it is somewhat top heavy. But depending on where you're going to use it, it'll be fine. So anyway, just want to give that a go, and if you have it, plan on doing just a little bit of work to it. I picked tile because I don't know enough about welding yet to know if the bottom of the welder gets hot. If it does, tile won't get hot. Tile will be fine. I didn't want to put wood down there just in case the bottom of a welder does get hot. And I was thinking, well, I could cut a piece of wood and it'll fit, and then I could do that, and then maybe spray it with some high temperature paint or something. But the high temperature paint was way more expensive than just a couple pieces of tile. And if you're lucky, you might just have a couple pieces of tile laying around, and you might know somebody that has some scrap tile that they will never use, and just throw a couple pieces down there just to lift it up, and go for it. So anyway, that's my take on the Harbor Freight welding cart utilizing the Hobart 140 MIG welder. Thanks. Bye.